Hello, everybody. Welcome to It Was Tuesday, podcast about all things fighting games. My name is James Chen, aka Jay Chenzor, your host. And today, I know we've been talking a lot about Street Fighter 6 recently. Obviously, that's the big news that's coming out. But today, we are going to be talking a lot about Mortal Kombat 1. So, obviously, there's going to be a lot of violent scenes in this, for you guys here on stream. However, for the people on YouTube, unfortunately, I am going to edit out a lot of the violent footage here, mostly for monetization reasons on YouTube. So as we go through the footage, as soon as it gets to the section of the trailer where we're watching nothing but fatalities, yeah, I'm going to have to unfortunately censor that for the YouTube version. So but yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 has released a new gameplay trailer, and then it has turned out that a lot of people have had a chance to go and play it, similar to that media bonanza for Street Fighter 6 recently. So a lot of footage has been showing up. Sounds like everybody had about half an hour to the game, so they really didn't get a chance to do any sort of deep dive. So we've seen a lot more things, a few more features for the game. But let's go ahead and just take a look at the gameplay trailer here and go through it. Again, I don't know how much I'm going to have to censor as we go through this. Do I have this working? Yes, I do. Okay, here we go. So I don't know how much I'm gonna have to censor on YouTube. We'll figure it out when it actually happens. So yeah, there's so much footage going on this past weekend. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let me put on my headset so I can hear, and let's do this here. So we'll just watch it through one time without interruption, and then we'll go through it a second time where I'll actually be pausing and stopping and actually talk about, my thoughts on the trailer as it goes. So here we go. Again, for those who are sensitive to violence, there is a lot of violence in here. So let's just be warned here. There's a reason why the game says it is likely mature 17 plus. No, it is definitely going to be mature 17 plus. Let's go.
I have had enough of you.
Then go, before I put you down.
Fight!
Today, you have proven worthy of joining us. Come, there are other champions I must gather.
What do you want?
Sento, it's my family blade.
Sento's mine, and I won't give it up without a fight.
It's so interesting. Like, I wonder. Yeah, see, like, even scenes like this probably need to be censored for sure on the YouTube cut.
Enough! Okay, let's go back to one here. Who are you again?
Lord Liu Kang, protector of Earthrealm, god of fire.
Talk about Liu Kang with the deep voice.
You have skills, Raiden, but you're inexperienced.
Whatever experience I lack, I make up for it in heart.
I think it's the same voice actor, but because he's a god now, he just speaks with more of a deeper voice. And you just killed your monk friend for no reason.
If your disease becomes known, you will be banished. I only want what's best for you.
Or do you secretly covet my throne?
I really don't like Melina's voice. Boy.
Finish him.
And here we go. All right, so that was MK1 here, but let's actually go through this a little bit slower here. I'm going to turn the volume basically mostly off so we can talk about this here. I mean, this is really interesting here. I mean, there's a lot to say about this, and, you know, it's a tough one here, right? Because, you know, obviously, you know, Mortal Kombat has definitely had its... I guess you can call it issues in the past with a lot of certain things, and I'll probably, like, a lot of the things that I'll say about this probably will sound as a little bit nitpicky here, but I mean, let's just go through this trailer little by little here, and like I said, I'm gonna pause and just kind of rewind and stuff like that if necessary. So let's actually just take a look at this and see what we can glean. I mean, obviously we know a lot of stuff about the game. You know, this is an assist-based fighter now, so you have one cameo assist, cameo, K-A-M-E-O. That is going to be fighting alongside you, that you can use, as we've obviously seen, to extend combos and even have their own fatalities, etc., etc. So let's take a look. So first of all, I just want to say that all of the story mode stuff here that we see looks fantastic, right? I mean, this game clearly has super nice graphics here during these cutscenes and such. I mean, the violence in the game is so Hypent. Is it Hypent? HL Pent. I mean, that's just the thing, is it depends on your level of tolerance of it, right? So a lot of people out there, you know, if you can take it and you think it's funny, but you know, there's a lot of like legit reasons for people out there to be traumatized by a lot of this and to not really enjoy it, to be honest with you. It's, yeah, and I mean, like, for example, in MK11, the fact that they had children in the game was like really rough to deal with, right? Like, you just had this situation where you're like Johnny Cage and you just go and murder your own daughter, you know, in this weird comedic fashion. It's just, it doesn't feel good, right? Right. And yeah, you know, Pasadena says, then just don't play it, right? And yeah, that's true, but it's just like, at the same time, it's not one of those things that you're going to just say, well, okay, if you don't like it, then it's just, you know, but like, it's too dismissive, I think, of people's concerns and discomfort with it, right? There's a that attitude right there is just it's too flippant, I guess. It's just too ignoring of what the concerns that people have, really, honestly. And yeah, the fact that, I mean, like in MK1 and MK2 and MK3, like the violence was just like kind of comedic in a way that it just was like, you kill somebody and then there's like 7 rib cages that fly out of them. This one, like, some of the fatalities that I've seen that have come out of the gameplay from people are really disturbing. Really disturbing, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I mean, the very first Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang didn't even kill anybody, right? His fatality literally wasn't killing somebody. He just uppercutted them and then they hit the ground, and that was the end of it. He was supposed to be the pro tag. He wasn't supposed to kill anybody. But obviously that changed very much with Mortal Kombat 2. But again, this looks beautiful, right? I mean, the graphics of this is really just amazing here. I mean, I feel like you could make a whole movie just out of this, right? What they're doing with the CG and the cutscenes here, the cinematicness of it is just, it's otherworldly, right? I mean, it's some of the best that you've seen, and this is funny, by the way. That was actually pretty damn funny. But then this is the crazy part, right? Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, this is so gorgeous looking. One thing I will say is the faces, they did a good job with the facial expressions. They've been really good with this since Injustice, but there is a little uncanny valleyness to it here a little bit. There's something about it that seems a little off, but it's still probably one of the best looking that we've seen from a video game. But then my problem is, like, we go from this and then once they start fighting, it starts to feel so Mortal Kombat again. Like, even just the pose that I happened to freeze on for Sub-Zero, like, you just look at him and, like, the stances, I don't know, like, they still need to work on the animation. And don't get me wrong, like, Mortal Kombat 1's animation is really, really good compared to previous Mortal Kombat games. But, like, I don't know. And there's more hit stun, which I like about this game right now. It feels like there's more hit stop, I should say. When the moves hit, it actually feels like there's more of like a kind of that little freeze a little bit. And I like that. But, the thing is, the combat animation is jank at point. It's a style. But every time you go to a new game, you have the ability to change that style. I don't know what their persistence on maintaining this same kind of look to it always, but like, there's just something weird about the way that the fighters are animated, and I can't really explain it. But see, even just there already, this looks way better than any previous Mortal Kombat game there's ever been, right? Like, the animation, I think it's just the way the characters walk and dash. Like this whole time that Kung Lao is punching here and he's attacking, it looks pretty cool here. Then as soon as he finishes punching and starts walking, there's just something very weird about it. Like, he's just like kind of like frozen walk. Yeah, it's like robotic looking. I'm not sure what it is about, this that they're so obsessed with keeping it. But already here, right away, one of the first things we see in this gameplay is they have amped up the air combos. And it's so funny because Mortal Kombat has always been such a juggling type of game. And the fact that they haven't really done like air chain combos, now they're finally adding that. Oh, this game is going to have a block button for sure, Skin Job. It wouldn't be Mortal Kombat without a block button. But like the fact that they're gonna have air combos now, you almost kind of wonder like what took them so long. Someone earlier in the chat said, you know, like this series hasn't really had a lot of dial combos. I would actually disagree with that, because Mortal Kombat was one of the first fighting game series to literally introduce dial-up combos. In MK3, dial-up combos was a thing. Like I still remember Liu Kang's, which is high punch, block, low kick, high kick, low kick, because that was the character I used the most in MK in Mortal Kombat 3, and I still remember his dial-up combos. So Mortal Kombat was actually one of the first series to really introduce straight up, like, this combo just works if you hit the buttons in the right order. So they were one of the first ones to do that. Having said that, obviously these days it's not quite the same thing. It's not dial-up combos. It's just more like you have the strings, etc., etc. But you'll see right here, you get the launch, and look at this. 2 hits into a ground bounce, into a juggle. So obviously you've got a lot more going on over here. So dialogue combos. Yeah. The true dial combo definition, nothing comes out unless you put the entire input. That almost never existed. I can't even think of an example of that at all, Subatar, to be honest with you. Again, back to the story mode. It's so fascinating. So obviously they're calling it Mortal Kombat 1. It's a reboot without a reboot. So if you guys didn't finish the story mode of Mortal Kombat 11, what happened there was that Liu Kang realized that all the Mortal Kombats were just like a cycle repeating itself over and over and over again, and he had to break the cycle, and he did so by becoming the fire god. And because of Chronica and all that, being able to manipulate time, I think basically the implication is that he kind of went back in time and is going to try to reshape the world, break the cycle. And so now he's the fire god instead of Raiden being the thunder god, and now Raiden is just like a normal kind of character. So yeah, I mean, I've talked about Marisa's animations all the time because, you know, in the NRS games, like for Injustice, I've always said that is exactly what made Superman look bad, because Superman just goes and like Superman should feel like every punch is so much more painful than everybody else's punch. Marisa gives you that feeling because they do everything is in the anticipation, and then the punch is an actual snap, right? She goes, oh, pow, like that. But yeah, the weight is supposed to be WEIGHT, but it lacks the weight as a WAIT. Actually works as well, because the weight right here for it to punch is what gives it that snap and that pain in there. And so, you know, Mortal Kombat, Injustice all has that kind of style there. And, you know, there is also a little bit of sameness between the characters, right? I mean, when we see all this, obviously, Kung Lao is the one who always does this punch, you know, the little rolling punch and stuff. But you see that follow-up punch where he punches straight like this and launches Sub-Zero across the screen. You could give that punch to every character in Mortal Kombat and it wouldn't feel out of place, you know. So there's still a I feel like kind of a lack of individuality with the animations. And again, this is kind of what I mean at the beginning of this. Obviously, I'm trying to be very fair to the game because, like I said, the game is absolutely gorgeous, right? We'll get into some of the more graphical things that I love about this game. But I'm also going to be very critical of it because it's hard for me to get past this. I mean, to be fair, I still think Chun-Li's animations in Street Fighter 6 look really off, and I will never, ever, ever accept Sakura's animations in Street Fighter 5. Like, Sakura's animations in Street Fighter 5 are a crime to humanity, you know? I mean, literally, they're just a crime to humanity. And so, like, you know, it's not that I'm just critical of one thing and not the other, you know. It's just after years and years and years and like decades of this now, like I just feel like that they should be able to gain like a different kind of a style to their combat a little bit. So But again, like you see these jump attacks and then the axe swing and then the punch and all this stuff. Quite literally, if you took away the ice effects, those moves could be for any character. That could have been for Jade with the pull at the end, right? Those animations, like I feel like the characters are lacking the unique style of animations. Their fighting style is dictated more by the effects rather than actual like attack. The punches are all generic, the kicks are all very generic, as opposed to really defining the style. Like this is my favorite thing about, you know, them revealing Marisa and Manon at the same time, is that you could not have gotten a more different, distinct style between the two characters and the way they fight. You know, you can actually, like if you just got Mokujin to do an animation for one of the fighters, even if I just described you the personalities, you could probably guess which character a lot of these moves belong to. In Mortal Kombat, if I had a Mokujin and I had them do any of these sequences, there's just no way you can tell. Same thing with Injustice. Everybody had that little shin kick to start, like back kick was like back one. I think everybody's back one in Injustice was this little low kick, and it was like the same shin kick from every character. And that's like the thing that that kind of frustrates me a lot about, you know, the way that MK animates. And again, people are gonna be like, oh well, you know what, this is more realistic, it's all humans, it's less cartoony, hard to make it. I mean, you know, Forrest in here, I know Forrest is a big Tekken fan. Look at Tekken, right? Like a lot of the moves are very distinct. There's very distinct fighting styles behind it. And I feel like Mortal Kombat's missing that. And it's just, you know, by the time we've reached Mortal Kombat 1, where the graphics, I mean, clearly this is like one of the best looking Mortal Kombats ever. Like you can actually get to that point where they look extremely distinct from each other. And I don't feel like we have that, and there is a little bit of frustration. And like I said, I'm not trying to do this and have all the MK fans and, you know, watching this just be like, you hater, James. Like, I don't say this out of me trying to be a hater to MK. I say this as I want them to do this because I want it to be better, and I want it to be stronger because I want MK to succeed, right? I don't say these things out of like, don't play it. I say these things out of, man, if you did this, it would be so cool. Oh my God, it would be so cool. Anyways, the story is kind of neat though. This idea, I hate the fact that they called it Mortal Kombat 1, like it's the Xbox One problem all over again. But to be honest with you, the story actually is interesting enough for me that I'm like, oh, cool. Cause like now we're getting what happened in Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat has always been Raiden is gathering warriors to go and fight in this outworld fight here. The interesting thing is now Liu Kang has actually replaced Raiden because now he's the fire god. He's taken over as the deity here, and he's gathering the warriors here. But the interesting part to me is, how is he going to try to break this cycle, right? So the MK11 proved that there's this kind of weird time loop cycle thing where they're just defeating Shang Tsung over and over and over again, and they have to figure out a way to actually break the cycle. So I'm curious to see if that's kind of where the plot is going, or is Liu Kang just going to execute the same mistakes and just kind of try to go at this head first and then end up causing a new loop kind of thing like that. So there's a lot of fascinating, you know, paths that the story can actually take. And I'm actually kind of interested in that. So aren't they all stuck in the dream of a dead god anyway? Was that what it was? I can't remember. I can't remember now. But yeah, it's cool that they're gathering all these warriors here. And then I'm just going to say this right now. First of all, I almost thought that they were bringing in that Mortal Kombat movie character at first. I didn't realize this was Kenshi at first because he wasn't blind. And so I was like, wait a second, are they bringing in the Mortal Kombat movie guy? You know, God, what was his name? I can't even remember that Mortal Kombat movie that just came out with the guy who beat up Goro and stuff. M code. Yeah, Cole, that's what it was. I almost thought they were bringing in Cole into the game here. I was like, is that Cole? No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's Kenshi. But what I am going to say is that this might be the greatest Mortal Kombat background I have ever seen. As soon as I saw them fighting in this background, in this beautiful, like the sunlight with the scene, the hills in the background, the cities over there, and the details, and dude, like the reflection on the floor, like I just felt like that this is like one of the best looking backgrounds ever. Like it's so nice looking, and of course, I guess they're gonna have fatal blows again. I don't remember if people had discussed how fatal blows work in the game or not. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, this definitely looks like Iron Man's penthouse for sure, for sure. But yeah, this background, I honestly think clearly is one of the nicest looking backgrounds ever. And you know, one of the things that, you know, even I still remember in MK11, you know, to my point that, you know, the characters all have similar fighting styles. You know, I think it was Ed Boon that even said in an interview one time, he was like, the throws are where where we really get to show how the character fight styles are different, because the throws get to show their uniqueness and stuff like that. And like, I remember seeing that quote and I was like, no, you can show the uniqueness throughout the entire thing. Come on, man. Come on. But you know, here we go. So you see the throw here, and yeah, it's obviously it's cool because, you know, Johnny Cage is going to do that. And, you know, we had, you know, Cassie Cage, oh, what was it? No. Jackie Briggs do all the things with the machines and like the contraptions and stuff like that. And, you know, Gun Dude, why can't I remember his name now? Oh, shoot. So I almost called him Johnny Black, but that's not his name. Who's the cowboy dude? The cowboy, why can't I remember his name right now? Dude, my brain is so messed up. But, you know, like Aaron Black, that's what it was. Okay, at least I was close. At least I was close. It was Black for sure. But, you know, he has the gunshots in his throws and stuff like that. The throws are where they show a lot of the uniqueness for the characters. But I feel like there's a lot more you can do just with the fighting style. Now, obviously, Aaron Black, you know, fights with the guns a lot more, so it's different. But then as soon as he goes into the, you know, little, like the physical, more close quarters combat, you know, he's hitting you with the gun butts and stuff like that. But it's just like the fighting actions all look very, very similar. You know, it's just, I again, no question, this game is very beautiful. I just wish that they would put a little more effort into the fight animations, especially the idle animations. And see, like that dash right there from Johnny Cage is just, I mean, like, what is that dash, right? What is that? Like, there's literally no animation in this dash, right? Like, if I frame by frame this, like, here comes Johnny's dash. Like, it looks like he's about to Sub-Zero slide. Like, what is that? Why does he just slide across the floor like this? Like, if I showed you this frame here, would you guess that this is Johnny Cage dashing? Or would you guess that this is Johnny Cage trying to do a low kick? You know, like, there's just, I don't know. It's just, again, this is not me trying to hate on the game. This is me just saying, come on, guys, you can do better than this. Like, you can do better than this kind of situation. And again, this is really cool. And just like, you know, them starting the story over again, I think that's like really cool. Protector of Earthrealm, God of Fire. And here we go. We see the first instance of cameo fighters. So now you have the ability to call assists. And it's interesting because it does look like it's freeform, right? It doesn't look like an MVC1 kind of calling an assist where you have to like ching, 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 like Wolverine has to do a little taunt and calls the friend. It seems more MVC2 style where you could just call in your friend at any time you want. So you can see he just kind of jumps in here and starts to do stuff. Yeah, basically Liu Kang is the role of Raiden, and Raiden will have the role of Liu Kang. Yeah, that's kind of basically the concept of this. Now, again, this part makes me laugh, and again, it's part of the MK Animations thing. But as soon as I saw this, I almost started laughing. Just watch Jax. Just watch Jax only in this sequence here. Like, he's like, haha, come in, blam, haha, see you later. I don't know, like, there's something really, like, funny about this. He's just like, do. He's like, yeah, good job, yeah, peace. And he just, like, slowly runs off the screen towards the side of the fighter, too. He doesn't even go backwards. Like, he's just like, you know, and, like, I don't know, like... Let me slowly leave. And then the best one is, oh gosh, let me see if I can find this clip here as well. There's a clip from from Sonic Fox actually. Twitter.com/Sonic Fox. Here's Sonic Fox posted up a video, and like, I know Mortal Kombat is all about teleporting and everything like that, and characters can teleport all over the place. Let me see if I can find this clip from Sonic Fox over here. Yeah, this is the one right here. Like, this one just made me laugh because, again, Jax is the assist here, right? I think this is the one. Yeah, here he is. So here comes Jax to do the assist, right? But watch Jax. Yo! Secret tunnels over here, right? I mean, look at this. Come in, Jax. All right. Peace. Hey! Like, I saw that and I just started cracking up because, like, my realism trigger just kind of got activated there. See ya, Katana. Hey! And I was like, shouldn't he, you know? But in any case, it just it just made me laugh the first time I saw that. Oh man. I mean, for those of you listening, Jax literally finishes his assist, but since he runs forward, he ran forward off the screen and immediately gets called again, and he shows up right away from behind Katana almost instantaneously. So it's like he's got some cool teleports or something, and yeah. But here we go. Like, here's a perfect example of what a sick air combo here. However, you know, there is one concern here. So obviously this move right here, get over here, it's like one of his most iconic moves, right? This is clearly one of his most iconic moves, and this is the danger of trying to put like a little bit of their styles in their regular attacks here, right? So he launches them up into the air, and then he immediately does this move, but it looks like a special move. I think that is a special move now that I think about it, because it looks like he meter burns it. So like he flashes, so probably a special move here. So he just has an air version of get over here, which is kind of neat actually. Like, that air combo looks really fun to do. And adding the air combos, like I said, I feel like has just been kind of a thing, a long time coming for the game. What have I been calling it? I've just been calling it the get over here, right? Like the spear, the lance, the thing, the anchor. Oh man. But so he has the slide, and it looks like the meter burn afterwards potentially. No, I don't see a meter burn ender or anything like that. He just finishes it right there. Do we see any examples of meter burns yet? Like, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of that yet. So there's that flash again. So now I'm starting to think that there might be EX moves in this game, because like that's gotta be a special move, right? Like, this can't be a normal attack. I mean, again, what I was trying to say is if normal attacks look like special moves, that doesn't make the special moves feel as like as cool and powerful, right? So that looks like a special move, but then glow here. So I'm guessing that the glows are probably like EX moves or moves that you could only do with meter. For example, that's Flying Dragon Kick EX. Did it always look like this? Even in MK11? I don't remember it looking like that before, but I'm just trying to figure out what the glow is, unless that is the meter burn activation. Unless that's just the meter burn activation. But I mean, again, look at the background, right? The background's beautiful here. This is like whoever the environmental artists are for this game are really just killing it. Like this whole entire environment that they're in right now just looks absolutely gorgeous. This entire background is crazy, and seeing having them in this trailer talk about Raiden and how he's actually inexperienced and stuff like that. It's actually kind of cool. It's neat. Like you're like, oh, twist, twist. Now Raiden is the one that's a little bit. He's the green warrior over here. But who's this monk guy? Is this Kenshi again? This is Kenshi still, right? Because he has the sword. So I'm assuming that's still Kenshi here. And then there's something weird about the way they do the planes here, because Sonya runs in from the back. She's clearly behind everybody. But I guess she is kind of diagonally facing and grabbing, like she's swinging a little bit forward. And grabs and then slams him. But see how when it slams, right? So it's like she turns a little bit, leans forward, grabs Raiden. I guess she does turn a little bit and slams him towards the foreground. So yeah, I guess that makes a little sense. But there we see the first instance of the combo breaker here. Is that the combo breakers are performed by your cameo assist. So it's actually kind of neat. And then throwing a dagger as an assist. So we've already seen that these characters come with many different assists. And I've also seen a lot of people saying that they were like, can I play this without the cameo fighters? But I've heard that the cameo fighters are 100% baked into the gameplay, and that there is going to be no cameo free mode. Like this is literally, that is the system of the game. I don't know if the cameos are going to be part of the story. They're probably not. That's probably why they call them the cameo fighters, to be honest with you. King of Fighters with the assists was a lot of the NES saga. In fact, I think it was 2000. It was 99, 2000, 2001, all the way to 2002. Basically, I think they all had assists in there. Yeah, so now we see the laser assist here, but is this a cut here? Because this is the laser that leads into the fatality here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on in this sequence here, but I do like the fact that Raiden ducks to get under the laser. Like, that's actually kind of a neat touch. I actually like that. And then, oh, I'll show you how inexperienced I am, Kenshi. Take this, die. Yeah, so basically you're dead. And then interesting, the origin stories of Melina's disease over here. Melina, and then I just don't like Melina's voice. I don't like it. Like, I get it, but
I only want what's best for you.
Or do you secretly covet my throne?
I don't know. I think it could have been a little better. But again, there's like, so what we've seen from a lot of footage, it's such a cool throwback to MK3 for them to do this kind of thing where they do the arm, hit, but this is apparently at the beginning of every fight they do this. They have the dialogue against each other. Again, it's really nice, like how they transition from the pre-fight to the fight. Like literally, this is the start of the fight. They come in, they talk to each other, and then basically it zooms right out into the fight, which is kind of neat. Like it zooms out. Not in this situation, so that was a cut right there, but from the footage we've seen, they zoom out and then you see them both do their intro poses, and then it goes straight into the fight by just turning the camera. There's like not even any cuts or anything like that, so it's actually kind of a nice touch over here. And it looks like Goro as a cameo assist. Now, this one is interesting for me. This is one of the most interesting cameo assist shots that they have. Now, clearly what we've seen from a lot of the characters is that, they've been able to use the assist and keep attacking and stuff. But in this situation here, Mileena goes into the stance, and she stays in that stance for a while. I'm curious, and maybe some people already know the answer with this, are some of the cameo assists force you into the inability to act during a portion of the cameo assist? Like a lot of the other ones we've seen have been faster. We saw Raiden duck under the laser, so I'm assuming that means that he's actually stuck ducking under the laser for a little while, just like Mileena is kind of stuck here for a second here before she can move again. And now she can get the combo. Ah, I see. So people are saying there are two types of assists. Some assists lock you in place. There you go. So two type of assists. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's see. Mutant Magnet says one type fixes your main character in place while the other works while the character is active. Okay, there you go. Interesting. So that's the one that locks them in place. Which makes me happy to understand because, like, as I was watching the trailer the few times, I like the fact that I'm actually correct in seeing what I'm seeing here. But again, I can't not point this out. But like, while you're watching this action, goddamn, look at this background. Goddamn, look at the mountains in the back. It's bright, it's blue, the plants are green. Like, it's not like everything is filtered red and gray. Like, that is just, like, this is one of the prettiest fighting game backgrounds that I think that I have ever seen. Like, honestly, like I've already said that about the mansion, but the more I look at this one, this thing is gorgeous, dude. And then we move over to Katana and Mileena, and then sure enough, the background, look at this, blue sky, green backgrounds. Dude, it's so pretty. Purple banners, like, Mortal Kombat has always been more about like gray and the dark colors and dinginess and red and everything, but this is just so, yeah, vibrant is a great word. And like the details in the backgrounds too. This is the most background detail I've ever seen. Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing here. This game is coming out on the Switch. I guarantee you half of this stuff isn't gonna be in the background on the Switch. Like, most of that is not going to be there probably, but they are definitely taking advantage of, the power of modern consoles and PCs here to have this level of detail in the background. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous here. And what's that move that Mileena just did there? Juggle, and then like a throw finish or something. I guess it's probably just like a canned animation there. Yeah, will you be able to hit the assists? I don't know. That maybe some people actually know that already. But even this background, right? Standard, bar background. It looks like, and this is interesting because it looks like it might be the same location as the first fight that we see, but upstairs instead of downstairs? And if that's the case, are we gonna actually be able to transition between the levels? Are there gonna be stage transitions in this game as well? Bacon Lord does confirm that you can hit the assists. Guizo says assists can be hit and you take damage. Interesting. Okay, so you have to be careful with that. There's some red aura that happens when they get hit. And see, I don't know why that looks so odd. Like the Kung Lao assist there looks really weird. Like, am I the only one that just thinks that this looks really weird? Like, obviously the pausing of it makes it look worse than it does in motion. But it just looks really, really bizarre to me. Even what your eye can pick up out of it just looked kind of odd to me. But again, there's that air combos right there. And then here comes Liu Kang. And I don't know what background this is, but again, bright, sunny. Like, they made a distinct goal to do this. And you know what? I mean, I think that the reason why it happened is probably because for story purposes, they're trying to show that the world is in currently a harmonious state. This is the beginning of the conflict, and that, you know, Outworld is gonna start invading soon, and Liu Kang is trying to prevent going down the path of the repeated, you know, Tournament of Champions. So I think what they're trying to do is just show the world is in more of a harmonious state, and so they have a lot more of these, you know, glowing, sunny, kind of bright areas. Yeah, like the stage literally looks like a fairy tale. The Bacon Lord says the stage looks like it's from, I mean, not, sorry, what is it? Yeah, Bacon Lord actually says all assists are retro versions of the characters. They do show that all of the cameos also have fatalities that can be performed. You can perform a cameo fatality, and so far, they're my favorite fatalities, because they are all just referencing the original fatalities that they've done from their older games. Like the footage that I saw, Kano just rips your heart out. Sonya just blows the little energy bubble and turns into a skeleton. You know, Sub-Zero just rips your head off and everything like that. Like, they're actually really cool. Like, I like that they're using the old, yeah, Giant Jax is literally is one of his old fatalities from UMK3. Oh no, wait, that was from MK2 if I'm not mistaken. But was it from MK3? I can't. No, that's right. No, he didn't have it because Jax had the arm rip and the head clap in MK2. The growing big foot stomp was from MK3. Yeah. So, I mean, I actually like the cameo assist, because, like, the weird thing about them is because they're not so over the top, like, I almost feel like they're cooler. Like, the ones that are over the top are just like, I killed you, I'll kill you again, I'll kill you again, and you know what, I'll kill you one more time. And, like, by that point, it's just like, it feels like, I know people saying just don't play the game then, but, like, it just feels so excessive. And, like, I don't know, it's just like, like, I get it. Don't, if it's not for you, don't play the game. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, there's something like it's weird. It's like, I actually feel like, you know, Kano ripping your heart out, or just Sub-Zero ripping your head off. Like, there's something more, like, without it even being that violent, I feel like there's more impact to it. Does that make sense? Like, because it is just a one and done, and it's not like just so, it's not gratuitous. There's something about it that feels more impactful. Like the other ones, at one point in time, you just start kind of like, Like, all right, I chopped your legs, now I chop your arms, now I slice your head into a bunch of pieces, and then I punch my hand through your chest, and then, you know, it's just like, at that point, it's just like, whatever. Like, it's just like, you're just doing whatever you feel like it at this point in time. But, like, the fact that, you know, the single thing, like, I am going to kill you, and I'm doing it by ripping your heart out. But like Kano ripping your heart out, squishing it, smearing it over his face, and having him headbutt your chest, and having your chest chunk into a million pieces, and then he kicks your knees. Like, it's just like, you know, like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it has the same impact. It just, at that point, like, I almost feel like the excessive, you know, gore makes it so that it's just, you don't care anymore. It just starts to blend together at that point. You're pretty much only an NRS player and can't stand fatalities after the first week. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the fatalities are what they're known for, and they're going to put them in there. Like, I would never tell Mortal Kombat to take away fatalities, right? A lot of people are assuming that I'm saying, like, take away the fatalities. But I actually do think that there's something to be said about trying to be a little bit more realistic with the fatalities. I think that gives them a little bit more impact, you know. Perhaps the extra gore adds to the grossness factor of it, but I feel like it actually does, you know, does kind of create that comical aspect that the previous MK games had, because they were sprites and stuff like that. And maybe that's why they are excessive, because they're trying to make it seem like almost so over the top that you can't take it seriously. Perhaps that's the goal that they're trying to go for, but I would never take away the fatalities. I would take away the fatalities in an esports mode so that we don't have the finish him, because I've already explained in a previous episode that, you know, one of the things, in my opinion, that hurts Mortal Kombat a lot is the finish him, because what that does is as soon as someone dies and it says finish him, the person who loses usually pauses the game and goes to character selector, restart match. That hurts flow in a tournament a lot, right? Even Street Fighter 6 right now, with the ability to go back into a match so fast, is kind of disruptive. But at least we have the KO part of the game to at least react and go like, oh! But like Mortal Kombat just being like, pow, 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 start, okay, restart, fight, really hurts the flow from a viewer standpoint. And I really hope that they add an esports mode so that when you do land the final blow, it's like boom, thunk, thunk, and then you start here. Right, but restart match feels so good as a player, right? But again, and I know people are gonna be mad at me for saying this, but we're entering the age of esports, and it's kind of important to make sure the viewers enjoy things as well. It's important to have a good flow for the viewership as well. And I do agree with Moneybags that I feel like every game probably should have a restart match, but I would really like to see a tournament mode where those things get disabled, right? Like even in, like Street Fighter has never had a restart match option there. I like if they added that just for like offline casual, but if there's a tournament mode you can turn on where it disables that, I think that would be the better way to do it. A reverse anti-blood code? What the? Oh man. Oh, can they actually? Did they say that, Shenron? Is there actually a mode where you can change the color of the blood so that you can monetize it? Did they say that? Is that actually a thing that already exists? Did they already say that exists in the game? Or are you suggesting that? Because yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. So yeah, something you want, right? Exactly. So that helps, you know, just take away the blood. The problem is like the fatal blows, the blood and the gore is so entrenched into the animation. I guess you could just change the blood, or you know, it'd be really funny if they actually just made like literally a secondary super for every character that does the exact same amount of damage and leaves the enemy in the exact same knockdown advantage position and everything like that. That's just like a beat 'em up super for esports mode. I think that would actually be cool. But in any case, beautiful background, as I said. And then Striker! I like how he shines the light into the eyes of a god whose eyes are already glowing. And it actually shocks him. And then he shoots him with lightning. Oh my god. And like, this is actually one of the only darker stages that we've seen. But even still as a darker stage, it's vibrant. Like, this is literally a vibrant dark stage. There's fireworks in the background. The lanterns are bright. The ship on fire is bright. Like, despite the fact that this is more of the classic MK stage that we're used to, it's still extremely bright and ridiculously beautiful. Like, this is such a cool looking stage. And then, of course, yeah, here we go. Like, it's crazy because the anticipation of some of these moves are more painful than like, as soon as I saw what was gonna happen, I was like, no! And then it happens and you're like, oh, all right, okay. But like, it already kind of gets to that point, so, oh man. Every time you land a fatal blow, it just flashes a Red Bull ad for a few seconds. Esports mode. That would be hilarious, dude. Oh, man. Okay, just broke your neck. Here we go. And now, boom. Is that a fatality or is that a fatal blow? I don't even know. But yeah, here we go. Here's all the fatalities. So again, if you're sensitive, please look away. I'll let you know when it starts up again. But like the fatalities. Oh, look, I chopped. Look, how did his shoulders already get ripped in half? Did we miss that part of the fatality? Oh, yeah. This is already halfway through the fatality because Johnny Cage already has his arms ripped off over here. But it's just like, at this... like... this is... and then Raiden just like slaps your pieces together and then it's just like... But see, like, that fatality right there from Sub-Zero, I feel like is like one of the nicer looking fatalities in the game. Like, honestly, I feel like it's actually one of the best looking fatalities in the game. But I mean, in terms of just like gameplay and stuff like that, so, you know, obviously we've been talking a lot about the aesthetics, the storylines and stuff like that. But I mean, right now the gameplay does look really good, right? Let's not talk about the animations or whatever like that, because MK, interestingly enough, one of the nice things about MK is that they, like Street Fighter, are not scared to change their game up. Right? MK9 and MKX probably were more similar to each other, but they were still extremely, you know, different kind of games. Like MKX is almost kind of like the Marvel of Mortal Kombat games. Like that game, they just were like, it was more like the Guilty Gear, right? Because it was just like everybody just had the craziest mix-ups and it was just such the blender game. MK11 obviously was very footsies based, no more running, and like it's just very much more controlled environment. And I know a lot of people actually didn't like that. A lot of the MKX fans wanted it to be a lot crazier. There were a lot of people that did like it a lot, that it was a lot more footsie based and less vortex based, right? The lack of customizations in MK11, the loadouts or something. No, people just were, because it's hard to balance that, right? And so you have this game with all these customizations and all these special moves, and for the longest of time, they only limited you to 2 tournament-approved loadouts. Eventually, they changed it so that you could use whatever loadouts, and, you know, for the most part, most people kind of stuck to one, you know, the 1 or 2 sets because they were just in the players' opinions, the strongest. But obviously, there's probably a lot more potential for exploration, but it just didn't really happen to go into. But this game over here, I feel like this game here is kind of like teetering the line between MK11 and MKX, right? Because it still seems like it's a little more footsie based, right? Obviously, we'll have to see as we go, but the combos are definitely crazier. So the ability to feel cool, KOOL, doing the combos, I think, are going to be a little bit higher. So I'm all about making sure the players feel like a badass when they play the fighting game, right? MK11 definitely kind of reduced that a little bit. There was definitely a lot of badass things you could do, but like coming from MKX where you're just like boom bam boom bam boom 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 vortex, you didn't block, boom 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 boom, like you were just feeling like you are just like supernatural kind of thing. And then MK11, they tried to calm it down a little bit more, but I think, but it was fun, right? So the characters, crazy mix-ups, or crazy amount of armor, and you would just exploit whichever one you had, right? MKX was a little bit crazy, but people had fun with that. MK11, they calmed it down a little bit, and I know a lot of people who appreciate the more cerebral aspect of the footsies and stuff like that really enjoyed that, but there's a lot of the people out there who just want a punchy punch and fatality people, and I'm sure that they probably didn't, they would have wanted more of an MKX kind of aesthetic. So what I do like here is that they're trying to do something in between now. So one, by adding the cameo assist, the cameos here for combo extensions and for a little bit of creativity. You've got some cool combo extensions, and then obviously the air combos. Now there's chains in the air. I feel like that there's people are going to be able to find like really cool combos and just be able to do a lot of different things. And if Mortal Kombat tries to add a little bit, so one of the trickiest things about air combos is, the way target combos work is there's always two philosophies, right? First philosophy is you punch the buttons in there and it just goes. Second one is you can delay your button, right? During your recovery, as long as the previous move connected, you can chain into the next one anytime you want, right? Distinctly, that's just the difference between Exerd and Strive, right? Guilty Gear Exerd, all of your target combos, all of your Gatlings had to be done instantly, right? If you did a Gatling combo, it was attack, attack, attack as fast as possible. In Exerd, they changed it so that you could delay the cancel. So in other words, I could do slash, and as slash is recovering, as long as the slash hit, I can now chain into the heavy anytime afterwards. That's Marvel game style. That is how Marvel games have always been. Mortal Kombat has not generally been that way. Mortal Kombat usually is you have to have hit the button at or before the button actually connects, so you have to hit the next button early. If that's the case, that does limit the creativity a little bit. The reason why Marvel games have such variety is because of the amount of changing up you can do in the air combos. Like, for those of you who haven't played a lot of Marvel games, and it just looks like when you launch, you just hit button, 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 button. Like, you don't even know how much there is to learning how to delay your hits in between air combos or even on the ground sometimes. But like, depending on the height of the opponent or the angle of the opponent, sometimes you want to jump, wait until you reach the height of your jump and then start hitting the buttons. Sometimes you want to hit the button as soon as you jump in the air, delay the next hit. Sometimes you want to just go right away, hit so that you can get this last second hit so you can land and juggle them before they hit the ground and stuff. Like, there's so much control in Marvel air combos. Like, it is like learning how to do Marvel air combos is an art unto itself. Like, the amount of variety and the amount of what you can try to do to achieve what you want in air combos in Marvel games is ridiculous. So I'm curious to see how MK11 one, see, I hate this, how Mortal Kombat, how M-Cone is actually going to handle this, right? Is it going to be a free-form air combo, or is it going to be more of a, dial a combo kind of thing? You just have to hit the buttons right away so you don't get as much control. The dangerous thing, though, is that if you do allow the person with a lot of control, you do hit the realm of potential infinites, which is the scariest part. Which was really, 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 really scary. Yeah, the air combos in Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter were really tame. That's why I didn't like the game, Forrest, because I never believed back then that those games were worthy of competition at all. So for me, they were just fun combo games. Like, I didn't care the versus aspect. So when they made MSH versus Street Fighter and they took away the combo ability, I felt like they just literally murdered the game. I was never going to play it against anybody. I was never going to play it against the computer for fun. I was just going to I played X-Men versus Street Fighter and wrote a giant FAQ for that game, because I loved the combos so much. And so when they toned down the combos, I was like, there's no point to this game anymore. Oh, man. But yeah, it's interesting how, is that Liu Kang variant MKX with lots of rapid punch strings? That thing was a chip killer. Oh, yeah. MK doesn't have a whole lot of left-right mix-ups because the block button negates it, but I hope they open it up more in that sense of just high-low. Well, that's the thing. MK10 was all about that, Shogundo. Like, in MK11, they really normalized it. So, like, overhead strings were really punishable. There were very few chains that could go into an overhead or a low. And if they did, it was very easy to read which one they were going to go with, or this chain only went into a low, or this chain only went into a high, or you could fuzzy block this kind of thing like that. They did a lot of that in MK11. MKX was just like, you're blocking this, guess, high or low, you die. And that was the end of it, basically. So they have a lot of control over what they want to do. And again, the lack of the block button also means that you can just get hit during footsies and positioning a lot, right? Like if you're walking backwards away from the opponent, Scorpion, even though the teleport is a left-right mix-up, but if you're just not ready for it, you just get hit by the teleport because it's so goddamn fast. But I'm sure the schmix is going to be in there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in there. Right, no proximity guard, and now Street Fighter 6 has no proximity guard either, which is throwing my Zangief play off very badly. Very, very badly. But yeah, I'm curious to see how they're going to do the air combos in this game. But, I mean, for the most part, this game looks super fun. And I like that NRS is willing to continue to change things up, right? I like the fact that they're continuing to make the games different, that they're not interested in just repeating what they've done before. It's kind of one of the reasons why I've praised Tekken 8 as well. Although I know Tekken 8 is going to make a lot of people mad because it's different. But I think that's kind of how fighting games should work, because honestly, which is why, again, I applaud what ArcSys did, where they added rollback to Exert, or is that done? Is that still a beta, or is that official release now for Exert? But, putting rollback into Exert, the philosophy of the last game is great. Play that game for that style. You get to a new game, you don't need to repeat that style again. We can make it a completely new thing. And if you don't like it and you like the old game, you can still go back and play the old game. And I like that philosophy because the fighting game community is very good at that, right? We're really good. We're still playing Third Strike and Super Turbo and stuff. So I don't need Mortal Kombat 1 to play like MK9 or MKX or MK11. I don't need it to play like any of those games. I want Mortal Kombat 1 to play like Mortal Kombat 1. And I really love the fact that NRS is willing to do that with their fighting games, with their series here. So I'm really excited that, you know, they're trying to do something different. And yeah, it's some people, like I saw a post by Sonic Fox, and everybody down under there was on the comments were like, can you turn off cameos? Can you not have cameos? Is there a way to not play cameos? You know, and like, Sonic Fox, they were just saying like, nope, it's baked in. They said that there's no way to turn this off. And again, it'll be rough for some people, but obviously it doesn't look like the cameo fighters here are going to be like Marvel kind of level of assists, right? It seems like they're a little more controlled and not as like spastic. So I think I like the fact that they're trying to change the game up, and I think that's really cool. And I think giving it a fresh coat of paint like this is nice. And speaking of fresh coat of paint, I'm just gonna do it again. Backgrounds are gorgeous in this game, probably the most detailed backgrounds that I have ever seen. So Moneybags, you know, they probably thought about making it a tag game. I'm gonna say this right now, but with the detail of the background and the details on the characters, like trying to make it a tag game probably would have been impossible with the limited amount of memory that they have to play with. If you look at the cameo assists, like I feel like they kind of put them in their classic costumes as a way to mask the fact that that means they don't have to make them look as detailed. So that the characters can actually look a little more plain, because like the characters that are fighting this game are clearly very ornate, and we've already seen Kenshi in like multiple costumes here and stuff like that. But again, if you had to have 4 characters with full costumes in memory at all times, you could switch between them like that, it would be very, very difficult, I think, memory-wise, especially with how detailed the background is. I mean, if you're worried about chugging your PC, if it was a full tag game, oh boy, that thing, your minimum system requirements for your PC were gonna be like, time to whip out and buy a $3,000 PC, let's go, you know. So yeah, Ed has confirmed that cameos don't have a story justification. There you go. Right, and the fact that this game is going to be on Switch, come on. Like, yeah, so making it a tag fighter probably would have been very taxing to the machine. Obviously, it's something they want to do. They had that mode in MK9 with the tags, and it's just, you feel like this is something Ed Boon has been wanting to do for a long time, and this might be just his best concession for now. But I wouldn't be surprised as if the hardware just gets better on the next generation of consoles, perhaps on the PlayStation 6, you know, that we're finally going to get the full-on like tag Mortal Kombat fighter, because I think that's something Ed has just been trying to do forever now, because they experimented with it in previous games, and it just feels like something he really, really wants. Plus, the other thing, the brilliant thing about cameo fighters as well is that it really opens up the door to bringing back a lot of characters that people miss. You know, Striker's obviously there. There's no story justification, so you can put Striker in there. You can put Bo Ride. He was already in MK11. What am I talking about? But you know, you can put all these characters in there just for fun, and you don't have to have a story justification. They're just there to just to be there, basically. And then also, the interesting thing about it though is that, can they turn a cameo fighter into an actual character, right? Obviously, Sub-Zero is a cameo fighter, and Sub-Zero is a main character. We've already seen Sub-Zero do the head rip as the cameo fighter fatality, and then Sub-Zero's in the game. So that at least eliminates the possibility that being a cameo fighter negates them from being a main character, right? So like if you see Goro do the punch walk there in the background, that doesn't, you know, mean that Goro will never show up as a main character. They'd still have the ability to have Goro with Goro, Sub-Zero with Sub-Zero, etc., etc. So I don't think that that's going to be a concern. So if you're a person who sees like Goro as a cameo, like, no, I want to play Goro as a main character. Like, I don't feel like that's gonna deconfirm Goro at this point. So mocap, oh god, dude, they would put mocap in there too. They absolutely would put mocap as a cameo in there. Yeah, I mean, I don't see. Oh, okay, never mind. Bacon Lord confirms it. Yes, you can pick sub and sub cameo as well. So meat. Wasn't meat literally just a chunk of meat? Was he actually in one of the games? I can't remember. He was just literally just a chunk of meat. Was it like the Daytona car or the giant bear in Fighters Mega Mix? It was just something that just rotated. Oh, he was a bloody skeleton. Okay, got it. Oh boy, back in the day when they just did whatever the hell they wanted. Yeah, that is a good question, how big the cameo roster is going to be. I mean, it really is more like MVC 1, right? Because that's what MVC 1 was. That's where Thor first showed up in a Marvel game, right? Thor was literally an assist in MVC 1. You know, they had all the different characters from Forgotten Realms and, you know, and all and Legendary Wings and Ghosts and Goblins, etc., etc. So the cameo fighters really are going to be very similar to MVC 1. So Lou, Lou, which was Hold Strong. You got Lou. He was definitely one of the better assists for sure. Oh, thank you, Shayality. Yeah, I got these posters. They're parodies of very famous classic movie posters, part of the Darkstalkers versus Street Fighter line that Udon did. They unfortunately are not for sale anywhere anymore. Everyone keeps asking about him, so I should talk to Udon. I should email Udon and be like, hey, let's do a reprint line of this, and let me get in on some of the action, and I'll give you like codes and let me get part of the cut. Because I get so many people asking about those posters. Oh man. Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? I mean, it'd be nice to have it so that MK is not super serious this time, because MK11 was super serious, right? I mean, obviously there was humor stuff in the game, but like, the thing that we appreciate about World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6 is that you fight refrigerators, right? Like that like as soon as you saw you fighting refrigerators in World Tour mode, you're just like, yeah, this is the vibe I'm looking for. This is absolutely the vibe we're looking for. So, oh man. But yeah, I mean, I guess unless anybody else has any questions about my opinion on stuff, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about Mortal Kombat right now. Again, my complaints about the animation and the fighting style and everything like that, you can see is very limited to just, I wish they would do better with it because I would just like the game to look better. I've often said, the Superman example in Injustice, right? But like, for example, Batman is one of the characters that pisses me off in Injustice, right? Like, why is his neutral stance this? Why is Batman's neutral stance this, right? Batman's neutral stance should be just standing straight up with the cape over him. And he should just be standing there. Like, his neutral stance shouldn't even be in a fighting pose. He should just literally just be standing there with the cape draped over him. And then every time he attacks, his arms come out and he fights, and he mostly has like counters. Like, I would actually make it so that Batman was like a counter kind of character, that he was based more on letting you attack first and then having him block and like hit you back kind of thing, because that's like a Batman style, right? Batman is very much not like I throw the first punch kind of thing. He just like walks up to you, waits till you do something, and then just beats you up kind of thing like that. Yeah. So that's kind of like and then, but I mean, I've heard stories about Flash and everything like that, but Flash is another character that like could have been so cool, but oh man. And again, it's not me because I'm hating on the game. It's just because I want to see it better, right? Like I said, I will still to this day, like I cannot. I've had people try to argue to me about Sakura's animations in Street Fighter V, and I don't care what kind of mental gymnastics or justification you try to give Sakura's animations in Street Fighter V. Sakura's animations in Street Fighter V are an affront to humanity. I mean, seriously, like every time I see them, I want to cry. Like I've been desensitized to them so that I can actually see her on the screen and not like actually make me like weep for all of mankind kind of thing. But like I cannot see her animations without a part of me dying inside just a little bit. You know? Like honestly. But you know, I make these critiques because I want the game to be as good as possible. Like we saw that Johnny Cage dash, and just like that Johnny Cage dash is just like, it's mind-blowing to me that in this day and age you could make a dash character look like that, right? And it's not even Sakura's model that's a problem. It's just the animations. Her model is fine. The way she looks is fine. It's just the animations, man. Like, the animations are a problem. Like, I just don't want it. Like, someone joked that in this trailer, we only saw one low kick. Like we never saw anyone do a low kick, so we don't know if they still have Terminator low kick or Katana, you know, rotate on the knee kick. You know, that's true. I'm gonna call it the red rum kick from now on, honestly, you know. Red rum, red rum. That's like the Katana kick right there, the crouching kick, the rotate on the knees kick. You know, and it's just because I want it to look as good as possible so that there is nothing for people to actually like look at and complain about. Like, I don't want to have people be like, wow, why is Mortal Kombat's animations always look so bad? I want people to come in and be like, yo, this is the best looking fighting game ever. Like, this is just clearly the best looking fighting game ever, right? I mean, the backgrounds are there, the cutscenes are there, like, Mortal Kombat 1 is already, like, graphically one of the greatest looking fighting games we have ever seen. And then they animate, and I'm just like, like, you're, like, the fact that everything else is getting so good to have this legacy vestige animation stings that much more. You know what I mean? It hurts that much more. Like, the more perfect you get, the more the flaws start to stand out is kind of how I look at it. And I want them to change it, not because I'm hating on the game, but because I want it to be as successful as possible. I'm interested in success in fighting games, right? I'm not rooting for any particular fighting game. I want them all to succeed. And so, you know, that's the thing. I wish they would do that. But everything else outside of the animations thing that I've been talking about, the backgrounds, oh my gosh, like the other thing they can fix, and obviously we haven't been able to hear a lot of this, but like now that you have the brighter backgrounds and everything, let's have some music. Let's put some music, like experiment with it. All these fighting games these days have DJ stations now, right? Where you can put whatever music you want into the game. You know what? If your default soundtrack is going to be like all the old soundtracks, and like, you know, like what is this music? This is not music, right? Like, let us put in the Mortal Kombat techno song just because I just want to hear it, right? I just want to hear it. I just want to hear the Mortal Kombat. Like, can you imagine how hype that would be on an Evo top stage, right? Like, if it was just like, round one, fight, and then everyone screams, Mortal Kombat in the audience at the same time. Like, dude, that'd be so sick. That would be so sick. So a lot of people are saying that MK1's music is actually pretty good. You know, I mean, I just want the energy. I want the hype in the background, right? You know, as much as I personally don't like Street Fighter 6's character themes all that much, like they at least still bring the energy, right? You still get this nice, vibrant energy. One of the things about Mortal Kombat is that when you play it, it always feels like the game is trying to bring you down, right? Like, it's just like, I mean, it's kind of like conflicting, right? Because it's like conflicting with a K, because like it's dark, The music is moody. It's super gory and violent. Like, it's super serious. And then you see the characters, and then all these crazy, like, you know, combos. And then all of a sudden these super graphic fatalities and stuff. Like, let's just make Mortal Kombat as energetic as possible. Let's just make it energetic, because I think that would be so cool, just to have a super energetic Mortal Kombat kind of game with just like, you know, hype music and kind of things like that. And it doesn't even have to be like techno dance music or anything like that. It could just be like, you know, like, just give me something that like pumps us up a little bit more. And yeah, just put in a DJ station, put in these extra songs, and let us assign them, and then, you know, maybe they become tournament standards or something too. Oh, he did the soundtrack for the Black Knight 2000 pinball table. That's super cool. That's actually awesome. Oh man. Oh, you're talking about Mortal Kombat. See, oh god, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal MK1. See, it's happening already. Forrest typed MK1, and I thought he meant Mortal Kombat 1, the game that we just watched the trailer for, but he actually means Mortal Kombat, which could also refer to MK9, because MK9 is also called Mortal Kombat. Couldn't we have just called it Mortal Kombat 0? Like, that's the worst name you could possibly come up with, like Street Fighter 0 and Resident Evil 0, but at least it's 0. At least it's 0. Oh, man. MK Alpha, there you go. Oh, man. Again, I also apologize to everybody listening about the microphone pop. I still haven't figured out what's going on with that. I haven't experimented with it because there's just, I've been so busy doing. And again, also want to apologize to people that I haven't done the part 2 of the frame meter stuff. Dude, I've just been so busy with a lot of commentary gigs, which is a good problem. I haven't even been able to stream Street Fighter 6 all that much because I've just been so busy doing things constantly. So, it's fine though. Like I said, that's a good problem to have. I'm fine with that. But I will be getting those videos out for you soon, because this week is a little lighter. But I probably won't be able to work on much today because I will be doing ICFC at midnight tonight as well. But in any case, yeah, I'm excited for Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 1. I like a lot of the changes there. I'm not sure how much I'll play it or how much I'll get into it, because there's just so many games these days. It's hard to keep up with everything. But I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it, and I'll definitely get it, and I'll definitely try it and mess around with it. Who knows? I may find a character that I absolutely fall in love with, and it's just like, I need to play this game. So it'll be kind of cool. So yeah, MK Reborn or something, right? King 99, exactly. Yeah, and that's true. EVO will have it playable as well. It's going to be playable at EVO, they just announced. So it's we'll find out a lot more at EVO for the game, and I'm sure we'll get all the cool stuff. I know the game's already had leaks, so don't type any of the leaks in the chat, please, because I don't want to spoil anything for people who prefer being surprised and stuff. So. But I'm excited for the game. Obviously, Mortal Kombat, you know, I tried to get into 11. I played it for a while. I wasn't awful at the game. I was actually pretty decent at first. But I kind of dropped it pretty quickly. Again, nothing to do with MK11. It's just hard to keep up with all the different games. And so, you know, in this situation, I mean, even the MK1 logo is super bright. Like, the MK1 logo is all white now. Everything is all white background and everything like that. Like, it's not even a black background anymore. Like, the predominant MK1 logo that you see is on this white background. Like, they're really trying to change the energy vibe that the game gives out. It's actually really kind of neat. But I don't know. We'll see how long I stick with the game. But for the most part, I will definitely try it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what the cameos bring to the game and how the gameplay will get. Because honestly, you know, MK11 being kind of a slowed down game is a great experiment for them. And now that they have a little more knowledge on how to do that and have the crazy MKX, I feel like they can do kind of like a perfect marriage. And if Mortal Kombat 1, the reboot, the pseudo reboot game, really kind of starts this new era of like really, really solid like gameplay kind of, you know, aspect that, you know, because I mean, I hate the fact that a lot of people still, you know, don't even try Mortal Kombat and they put down the gameplay, right? And a lot of it comes from the fact that it's not joyous to watch, right? When you watch it, the animations are stiff, the music is soft and everything like that. The backgrounds are dark and everything. And so a lot of people put down Mortal Kombat based off of nothing, right? MK11 was a really fun game. I enjoyed playing it. It was really good. And I felt like the fight mechanics and the style of the game was really good. I'd like to see MK get to that point where, you know, people can't just discount it, you know, like, oh, yeah, I don't want to play it, it's Mortal Kombat. Like, I had so many people just tell me, like, oh my God, Mortal Kombat's so bad. And I'm like, what are you talking about? MK11 is, like, really fun. Like, did you actually play it? No, but it just looks bad. And it's just like, dude, stop. Like, end the conversation there. So, yeah, and, you know, if Forrest, you know, actually did buy the MKs and doesn't like them, that's a different story. That's absolutely fine. And I say that to everybody who does the same thing with Street Fighter V, back during Street Fighter V and with Street Fighter 6. Like, I'm not going to sit here and try to defend the game to you guys, but if you played it and you don't like it, cool. Okay. Makes sense. So, in any case, that's all I have for Mortal Kombat here. Wow, I went way longer on the Mortal Kombat topic than I thought I was going to, so... Wow. Okay. In any case, for those of you here on Twitch, don't worry, I'll still keep going. But for those of you here on YouTube, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys appreciate the content that I continue to try to put out. Please check out all of the First Attack videos. I've got 5 videos out for you guys now on those short little videos on helping you learn how to play fighting games. I've been trying to do a lot more content, so keep an eye and make sure you like and subscribe here on this channel. Leave some comments here for the algorithm. If you've made it this far in the video, leave some comments below for the algorithm. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And again, I really hope for success for Mortal Kombat 1. And, you know, hope you guys are enjoying this. And, you know, for the day that this podcast graced your ears, it was the greatest moment of your life. But for me,
it was Tuesday.